Mhm.
Welcome, sports bettors from around the world.
We are back, baby. Welcome back, Sports Gambling Daily. This is Jared. That's Philly over there. It's December 12th, and it's a Thursday. And guys, our website is sgdwins.com. Go check that out. Today, we got the Pistons taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Pistons are at home, catching 5 points. A little surprising. I mean, they're going for their fifth out of this. They're going for their fifth win in 6 games. Where Dallas, where they have been very dominant, just came off a loss versus the Kings. Man, so I think it's going to be a pretty decent matchup here, Philly. What do you see off the jump?
Yeah, I hear you with that. I mean, you have two top 15 defensive teams. Dallas ranks 13th and Detroit 12th. So they usually bring it on both sides of the ball. I think the advantage to Dallas is, offensively, they're a better team, at least, on a game-to-game basis. Obviously, anything in a one-game scenario can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Griffin's finally starting to get off his minute restrictions. He finally looks like he's healthy. He came off a game that was a little lame, his last game, but I mean, obviously he's somebody that can go off. I think a lot of times when I look at a line and I initially think, this, I like Dallas in this spot, or I like so-and-so in this spot, it always makes me say, well, I don't, why does it seem a little easy at first, which leads me to think maybe Detroit might be something I want to look into a little bit further. I mean, Dallas is an early season darling. They're really, really good. Luka, and Porzingis. And I was just saying to you, I thought that potentially that the Pistons would hold an advantage on the glass with Drummond, but you do make a point that Porzingis likes to hang outside around the perimeter, and maybe that drags him out a little bit. So, unless Drummond wants to just hang back and let him shoot threes, it really isn't something you can do. So it should be an intriguing matchup. But honestly, I don't know, man. I just like what Dallas has been. They're deep. They bring, they have a pretty deep bench. Their rotation's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning Dallas early on. I don't see anything on Dallas' side injury-wise that would be a concern. Reggie Jackson's still out for the Pistons, but he's been out for a long while now, so that's not really anything new. So that's where I would lean, at least early on. I mean, there are some trends, with overs and unders that are a little bit interesting, but if I'm just looking at a side, I think I would lean Dallas minus the points, even though it's on the road.
Yeah, hey guys, the line's moving already. It's already now. I see it in one spot at 6, and then the other spot's in 5.5 to Dallas.
See, if it starts getting away, then you got to look at the other side. I mean, if that gets to 6.5 and 7, I might, I'm looking at Detroit, and this is on the fence for me. I mean, it's a little the spread is really. I mean, you can make an argument for both sides. I just think Dallas really is, if they're both playing their A game, Dallas should win this game and cover.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, so that's where they're at now. Right now, we got 89% of the tickets are on Dallas right now. So, here's a couple trends for you guys. Dallas 10-2 against the spread in their last 12 games this season, and then Detroit, for that matter, 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 home games. So, I mean, I'm leaning Dallas myself, but it's like you said, Philly, this line is starting to run away. So, Bovada has -6. Other places like BetOnline and 5 Dimes have -5.5. So you better jump on this line now if you like Dallas, because you're not going to get a favorable line, if you wait. So it's not going to come down. Let's put it that way.
I was just reading this thing. I just want to be sure if this is right or if this is wrong or not. But is this game in Detroit or is this game off campus somewhere? Because I'm reading this thing here that says Luka Doncic will want to show Mexico why he's one of the best in the league. And I have no idea what the hell that means.
Yeah,
is it in Mexico?
It says it's in Mexico City. It's funny because originally it says it's in the Little Caesars Arena, Detroit. But then if you look into it a little more, it says it's in Arena Ciudad de Mexico City.
Well, so that's a home game for Detroit, but it's a neutral site. I mean, who the hell knows even if there's a fan who has the fan base there? That's going to be a weird.
I mean, I'm just going on. Maybe Dallas has the fan base just because one, they're more international team, even though I know it's Europe, but. Obviously Texas borders Mexico, so maybe the people would lean more Dallas there.
It's interesting. That makes me like Dallas maybe even a little more because I feel like it's a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fun. I'm glad I caught that because I did not even realize the game was in Mexico.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, I like it even maybe a little bit more with Dallas winning the game, just because I feel like they're playing on a neutral site and there's not really a home court advantage there.
Sure. All right. Well, there you go, guys. I lean Dallas as well, but man, if I don't bet it now, I'm not going to feel good about it. So, all right, guys, good luck to you. Good luck to me. Good luck to everybody. We'll see you guys at sgdwins.com and on our next video. Peace.
Have a good one. See ya.
Welcome, sports bettors from around the world.
We are back, and we got the Denver Nuggets at home taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Melo's coming back to Denver. And we got the Nuggets, man. They're -6. They're looking to try to break that little 3-game losing streak. They haven't been playing all that well, man. They had an awful East Coast road trip, but now they're back home. They're going to try to reset versus these Portland Trailblazers, which just murdered. I mean, absolutely just crushed the New York Knicks, Philly.
Yeah, they sure did. A lot of people beat the Knicks, but that was a nice game for them. And you're right, that's an interesting angle. Carmelo coming back to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's been struggling, man. I mean, they've lost like 4 out of 5. They just don't seem like the team they were last year. Jamal Murray is claiming he's going to play, but he did leave the Sixers game early with a trunk contusion, and he didn't come back, and he was in quite a bit of pain. So, whether he plays or whether he doesn't, I'm sure that injury is not quite 100%. You got a Portland team that seems to be playing better. Dame Lillard came out and said, there's more of a sense of urgency. We're looking to jump on teams early, which is what they did to the Knicks. So, maybe they come out with a little offensive firepower and they try to take it to Denver. I've always made the point in the past that there is an altitude situation there that you got to at least be mindful of. That's something that Denver's used to. And, other teams come in there and they sometimes fizzle out towards the end. So we'll see how that certainly plays out. And I think whether or not Jamal Murray plays, if Paul Millsap is questionable, that makes a difference for sure. My only thing with Portland is their isolation brand of basketball, which is what they usually play, where you got kind of Lillard doing his thing, and then if Melo gets his ball, he gets the ball, he's kind of breaking his guy down. It's sort of like we said this before. It's like a team of 5, but they play like individually at sometimes.
Right.
So I don't know how that works out against a suffocating defense like Denver, because that's one thing they definitely do. And I think the injury to Rodney Hood makes a difference. That's a big part of that, because Kent Bazemore is not the same kind of player that Rodney Hood is. So early, I know it kind of sounds like I'm contradicting myself here, but kind of early, I like Portland. I think they've been playing a little bit better recently. I think Denver's trending the other way. Even with Jamal Murray healthy, they haven't played very well. So it's an early lean anyway, but I'm kind of leaning Portland plus the points. And if it starts getting, more and more favor, I like it better. Yeah,
well, here's the thing. The Nuggets, in my opinion, they're underperforming. They've been underperforming for a while now. I'm not at the point where I feel like they're a bad team or even a mediocre team. I feel like the Nuggets are much better than they've been playing. If you're going to get things back on track and start establishing your dominance back in the West Coast or the Western Conference, today's the day. Last time they played, the Nuggets, pretty much crushed the Trailblazers, even though that game was in Oregon. And they also were able to get 20 turnovers in that game. So they were able to force 20 turnovers. This was back in October. Lillard went off in that game, but, they still got beat pretty bad in that game. So, the Jamal Murray, what you were saying, that's a huge component to this thing. If he doesn't play, I don't like Denver in the points at all, or minus the points. But, he's listed as questionable, like you were saying, but he did come on, I think it was Instagram, and said, hey, I expect to play, and let's go. So I don't know. I guess we kind of have to see, because let's just say, for instance, he doesn't play. If he gets announced out, like, hey, we're going to take the day off here for Murray. I wonder how much this line drops or goes up. So that's something to keep your eye on, guys. So. All right.
I totally agree with that. It's a wait and see for me in a couple things, but just early, I'm looking at Portland.
All right. It sounds like
barking all over the place.
It sounds like someone needs to go to the bathroom, so we'll go ahead and get out of here. Good luck to you guys. Good luck to me, and good luck to everybody. And we'll see you over at sgdwins.com.
That's a good one.
All right. Bye.
Welcome, sports bettors from around the world.
Welcome back, Sports Gambling Daily for Thursday, December 12th. My name's Jared. That's Philly over there, and we're going to go over this matchup here between Boston versus the 76ers. Here we got a team where Boston really good at home, Philly undefeated at home, but they lost to the Pacers yesterday, and they're taking on a 76ers team that has won 7 out of their last 8 games. Current line is -1.5 to the Celtics. And you are an expert on the Philadelphia 76ers. So, let's hear a little bit of what you think about this game.
This is an intriguing matchup because I think it's got probably a playoff feel to it tonight. Two teams that don't necessarily like each other.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say there's bad blood, but there's been some hostility between the two over the last couple of years. And obviously the Al Horford situation, he's going back to Boston for the first time. That'll be kind of a neat angle to the game, I guess. And there's a couple up in the airs. I mean, Marcus Smart is questionable, and Gordon Hayward left the injury with another injury yesterday with his nose situation. But it doesn't say if he's playing or not. It just says he's questionable. So, but if he doesn't play, I mean, that's 2/5 of their starting lineup that's out. They lost last night to Indiana, back-to-back spot. The Sixers are not quite as good on the road. They're undefeated at home also. I don't know. The game's a little on the fence. I think you could argue it both ways. I'm very interested to see lineup situations, but early, I might lean Sixers mainly because if Smart and Hayward are out, I just think that gives them an advantage.
Right.
But, I mean, I certainly can't sit here and tell you that I don't think the Celtics could win this game because they're really good at home, and frankly, the Sixers have struggled with them over the last couple of years. We beat them opening night, which was nice to see. And it's not the same two teams 100% as it was last year, but it's going to be one hell of a matchup. And early on, I lean Sixers, but I'm very curious to see like if Hayward plays and kind of how these lineups play out.
Okay, yeah. So guys, the Celtics are 2-0 in back-to-back situations this year. So they're doing what they have to do. They're doing what good teams do. Now, let's look at a couple trends here. I got the 76ers. They are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 road games. And the Celtics are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games overall, which is actually not true because they lost to the Pacers. So my stats here are wrong, right? I mean, because they didn't cover the spread yesterday. So I don't know why I would say this.
Yeah, right. They were -1.5 at the time. Right.
Yeah. Well, what was the final score yesterday? Because it depends on where you got that. I think they lost by 3, didn't they?
Double check it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly,
122-117.
Yeah. So, even if you got them early, it was like where they were getting +2. Still didn't count. So, guys, I guess take that particular stat with a grain of salt. Anyway, the Celtics, I think they bounced back here. No offense to your Sixers over there. But I can make an argument for both sides. But if I had to pick right now, my initial lean is Celtics. But it's a very, it's not a very strong lean.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I mean, you telling me you think the Celtics might win. I can't sit here and unequivocally go, no way. I think that's very possible. A couple trends I saw that are interesting. Now, the Sixers are 7-1 straight up in their last 8, and Boston's 4-1 straight up in their last 5. But the under is hit 8 in the last 11 Sixers games, and the under is hit 9 of the last 13 Boston games. So might be something to look at as a total play as well.
For sure. One of the better things to do is when the referees are announced, just where you can get a good idea. There's some referees that really play good to the over and to the under. We found one of those matchups yesterday. We put it on our premium card, which was the Phoenix Suns versus who were they playing yesterday? And I can't remember.
I blanked myself.
Either way, we had that matchup, and we chose under. We went under. It was 230.5 was our under, and for the Phoenix Suns.
That's correct. Yep.
And so that was nice, man. So that's just a little tidbit, man. If you can find some good. There's certain referees that just love going under. Certain referees that have a tendency to go over. It's just the way they call the game. And those are the kind of things we look at.
Memphis is the game you were looking for.
That's right.
They shut down Ja Morant for most of that game, actually.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to bounce out of here. My initial lean here is Celtics. What's your initial lean?
My initial lean is the Sixers, but that's mainly because of the lineup situation. I want to see if it's full strength ahead. It's a flip of coin for me, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, sgdwins.com is where you can find our premium selections. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck to you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Have a good one.
Welcome, sports bettors from around the world.
Welcome back, Sports Gambling Daily for December 12th. It's a Thursday. Man, we're feeling really one day away from the weekend. And we got Cleveland taking on San Antonio. Real quick, guys, I wanted to tell you about our website, just sgdwins.com. That's where you can find our premium selections, amongst other things. All right, Cleveland. They're getting 10 on the road here on a back-to-back situation. They covered versus the Rockets yesterday. I think that was more the Rockets, letting teams just, they're never really trying to stomp teams out for whatever reason. But here we are, Cleveland flying into San Antonio, catching 10 points. You see anything in this matchup that might be able to get our people here a winner?
I mean, all right. So yeah, they played a hard-fought game yesterday in Cleveland. That's like their championship, I guess, beating the Rockets, or not beating them, but covering the spread against the Rockets, right? They get done that game, and then they have to get on a plane and fly to San Antonio, who's been off for 5 days. Get back to the hotel room late. Got to play another game today. It doesn't say there's any injuries, but I often wonder if Love or they sit him or time. You never know these guys half the time. So LaMarcus Aldridge is out on the other side. No, you know what? That's actually a wrong stat too. This says he's out Sunday versus Detroit, so I don't know. Maybe he is playing today. This is just surmising for Sunday, so We'll see about that.
I mean, hell, they've had how many days off now?
5 days off. You would think he'd be ready to go, right? Which is another thing. Like, how the hell did an NBA team get 5 days off in the middle of the season? I don't know about that. That's a lot of rest, and maybe a team comes out a little sluggish. But I got a hard time believing that San Antonio is going to struggle with Cleveland after a back-to-back spot. Cleveland is so up and down, and we were just saying how we thought they quit the other day, and here they come and they play a pretty good game. So I don't know if it was, like you said, more to do with Houston or more to do with the fact that Cleveland came to play, or a combo of the two. But I'm going to take San Antonio minus 10, and I can't even really believe I'm saying that because that spread seems large to me.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, so Cleveland, do you see that they're going to be, you think they'll be tired coming back from on this back-to-back, flying across the country?
I think it certainly has some kind of an effect. I mean, they do have some younger guys on that team, like Sexton and Osman and all. But the two vets, Tristan Thompson, not that they're old guys and all, but Kevin Love is. You never know when he's in, when he's out. I mean, if they come and they play, that's a spread that you can stay within. But there's been nothing really other than maybe a couple of games this year and last night where Cleveland's really even stayed competitive. I mean, they also the Sixers by 40. Boston blew them out. I don't really understand it.
Yeah,
so they're all over the place.
Yeah, Cleveland is 2-9 on the road this season. And I don't know. San Antonio is looking for their third straight victory. So I don't know. I think San Antonio wins. I think the spread's going to be close. I think because San Antonio doesn't have that kind of team that just will just pound you into submission. But they do have the kind of team. I think this is more of a fate of Cleveland. They really gave it all they had yesterday, and they still came up short. So, and now they get on a plane trip late at night. Get in probably late, right? And then
absolutely.
And then you got a well-rested Spurs team. So give me the Spurs minus the 10.
And to that, the under is 6 out of the last 9 in Cleveland's games, and under is 6 out of the last 8 in San Antonio. You might have a team, like you said, 5 days off. Maybe they come in a little bit rusty early. Cleveland going in late last night off a plane trip, back to back. Maybe maybe the under is an angle to look at. Just depends on where that's going to move around to. But some interesting trends there.
All right, guys, there you go. SGDwins.com. You can get our actual premium picks. You can also gain access to our live betting area, our private group, and everything else that comes along with that. You got more props. You got more picks. You get everything in there. So SGDwins.com. We'll see y'all in the next video.
Have a good one, guys.